Hello and welcome to the next in the series of the Meet the Employer webinars, bringing you exclusive access to inside information from a range of employers. This series is run in partnership with Graduate Recruitment Bureau, the UK's leading recruitment service for entry-level careers. Thank you for joining us today. It's great to have so many of you on this webinar. I'm Katie Hildyard, your host for the series, and I'm delighted to be joined by Wells Fargo today. So a big hello to Patricia, Mandeep and Alex, who are with me today. Wells Fargo is the world's fourth largest bank, headquartered in San Francisco in the States, with offices in over 30 countries and territories. We've got some really great insider tips coming up for those interested in working at Wells Fargo, so please make sure you stay tuned for those. Before we get started, however, I've got a bit of quick housekeeping. The webinar will last no longer than 20 minutes, and if you experience any technical difficulties, don't worry, because a copy of the recording will be made available on the Wells Fargo profile in your online career platform. Now on the screen, you can see this gives you a flavour of the webinars we actually have in the series, and we've got a growing number of employees confirmed. All the details for these can be found in your online career platform. So let's get started. It's brilliant to have three members of Wells Fargo's team with me today, each sharing unique insight from Wells Fargo's commercial distribution finance team, which sits under the company's wholesale banking. We'll be discussing how Wells Fargo supports the career development of early talent in Europe, the Middle East and Africa, known as EMEA, and you'll also hear from a recent joiner reflecting on their experiences so far, including the application and interviewing process. So first of all, we have Patricia, who's a member of Wells Fargo's EMEA Commercial Distribution Finance team. An additional responsibility to her role involves looking after the on-the-job development for the company's EMEA Commercial Distribution Finance early talent. We also have Mandeep, who's a member of the EMEA Learning and Development team. And as part of her role, Mandeep is responsible for delivering Wells Fargo's core EMEA Early Talent Development Programme across the various functions and regions. And last but not least, we have Alex Ednileo. He is a second-year participant of Wells Fargo's UK Commercial Distribution Finance Early Talent Development Programme. So to start with, Patricia, I think what will be really helpful for the students on the call today who are perhaps not familiar with Wells Fargo or commercial distribution finance, can you tell us a little bit more about your company and your team?
Sure. Hi. Yes, so Wells Fargo is a multinational finance services company. So we help customers across the globe with their financial needs. We're a large company and we have lots of different parts of the business. And the part of the business I work in is commercial distribution finance, which we like to call CDF. We provide inventory financing solutions. So we partner with manufacturers, distributors and dealers across industries like caravans, motorhomes, boats, motorcycles, technology. And the benefits of inventory finance are to help manufacturers have uninterrupted flow of production of their products throughout the year. And dealers and distributors that sell that product have enhanced liquidity and they're able to improve their sales performance because they're able to display a lot more variety of their product on their lots.
Great, thank you. Alex, coming to you, as an early career analyst, can you tell us about your journey from first hearing about Wells Fargo right through to being offered the role?
Yeah, sure. So I guess in most cases, my journey started off at studying at university. I did economics at my undergrad, spent another year doing my master's in investment and finance at Queen Mary University. And I guess whilst writing my final dissertation, it really did daunt on me that I'd actually have to leave the lecture hall, leave the library, and actually get out there and actually find a job and start my career. In terms of first hearing about Wells Fargo, I think that was down to my own personal experience, going on holiday to the United States, seeing a Wells Fargo bank on most street corners, even watching too many films at university, and subsequently coming across Wells Fargo's Stagecoach or any reference to Wells Fargo in that old Western film. It kind of brought some knowledge to me that I knew Wells Fargo's been there for a long time and it's very much prominent in the States. And when I did come across Wells Fargo here in EMEA, is that I was interested in see what Wells Fargo did outside of the States. I guess along the journey, what was overlooked from my experiences is that your support network whilst at university, whether it's your peers and careers advisors, that once I did have set my my CV sorted out, I think the application process with Wells Fargo was very straightforward in terms of submitting my CV online, and then having a clear process and understanding that once I did have that HR contact, I knew the steps forward in terms of the telephone interviews and my free face-to-face interviews on what I had to do, what was going on, and I guess to give me reassurance on what the timeline is throughout the whole process. Because I guess in some cases, some applications do leave grads in the dark. So I think from Wells Fargo point of view, it was nice to have that timeline for me and have that set. So yeah, and then I think after my, I guess, grueling interviews, very nice though. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was very challenging, but after probably a month and a half after my final interview, yeah, gladly got the call saying I got accepted. So very thrilled about that.
Great, and I expect it probably feels like a distant memory right now. But can you remember your first week? You know, what kind of things did you do, and how did you feel?
Yeah, I guess looking back now, September 2018, it's literally a bit of a blur. Obviously, first day waking up and then going to the office and then walking into the foyer and seeing a big Wells Fargo sign, and then you sort of sit back and then feel very surreal and nervous about starting a new job. And then I think all those nerves and cast doubt on whether I'll be competent to be here, I think after my first week they're all gone. Apart from getting set up on laptops, emails, and software as part of CDF. First thing first, I did get stuck in straight away in terms of what a graduate would be doing, having that outline set by, I guess, Trish and I guess my rotation leaders at the time, and getting workload and having some sort of responsibility as a graduate straight away did bring me confidence, and then really did make me feel comfortable in terms of being competent and starting to develop my own technical and develop my skills that I've already set myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then most importantly for me is immersing myself in the CDF family, whether that be the official channels where Trish would organise to meet with the grads, with the senior leaders, having that insight and advice from them, or even the unofficial channels of even a buddy system or ex-grads, or even just walking around the office and feeling very welcome from all the CDF colleagues and just piecing together what seemed to be a puzzle on your first day and develop a bigger picture of what CDF is.
So the combination. Oh, sorry.
So okay. So yeah, all those nerves and cast doubts on the first day and even first week all gone by just doing those two things.
Sure, and I guess so having the comprehensive, a clear plan of what you would be doing to give you insight into how it was going to be for the start of your career there, through to the support that you were given, sort of really assisted with making you feel comfortable and excited about what you're embarking on.
Yeah, 100%. Very grateful for, I guess, the first opportunities within the first week.
That's great. Thank you, Alex. Patricia, I want to come to you next because I understand you have on-the-job specific development and mentoring for early talent within Wells Fargo. How does this work?
Yeah, we do. Specifically in CDF, we have the Graduate Talent Program, and that's 12 months where the graduates work across the core functions in CDF to gain exposure to the different parts of the business and understand how they all work together. This is done through rotations in risk, sales, and service and delivery, and they're structured rotations where graduates learn on the job. So what's really great is these aren't hypothetical scenarios. Our graduates work alongside our team members with real customers. They perform the day-to-day responsibilities of the role, and they work on projects that deliver real value for the business. In addition to the rotations, graduates attend trade shows, customer meetings. They participate in a lot of activities that complement their learning, And one example of this that we have are monthly learning sessions where we invite senior leaders from across our entire business. So not just from EMEA, but also from North America and ANZ. And graduates are able to network and learn from people and parts of the business they wouldn't have otherwise been exposed to. All the while, this is like a structured support program. So they have me as their leader, country leaders and line managers, and we're all here to help guide and help the graduates. Together we set goals and objectives, we provide feedback and mentorship, and we work on a career development plan. So by the end of the program, graduates are prepared to apply for an off-program role.
Great. I mean, that sounds really comprehensive, and I think having the opportunities for students to meet others within the business for their own professional development and also gaining awareness of other job functions within the company sounds brilliant.
It is. It really is. It's a great program. We also, Mandeep will speak to it later, but we also get additional, outside of just CDF, Wells Fargo networking opportunities and learning and development because of the early talent program.
Right. Great, which leads me really nicely actually to Mandeep. Now, I understand in addition to job-specific training, there is a core early careers development program. Mandeep, are you able to tell us a little bit more about what that involves?
Yeah, sure. So the core early careers development program that you just mentioned is known as Early Talent Program, which is specially customized for new graduates from different lines of businesses, including CDF, as Trish just mentioned. It is a one-year-long program organized and delivered by the Learning and Development team of Wells Fargo, which I am a part of. The program focuses essentially on the professional and soft skills development. For example, learning how to leverage your strengths, communicating effectively, appreciating difference, and how do you influence others to get results. So the graduates would require these skills to navigate through our organization, regardless of what their job role is or what their job title is. And throughout the year, the graduates complete a series of self-paced learning courses. They also have individual assignments that help them gain the knowledge about the basic fundamental skills required to succeed. Usually the format of the Early Talent Program is that the graduates are invited to take part in 4 in-person sessions in London, where they have a chance to meet the other graduates from different lines of businesses, along with key business leaders and stakeholders. And this will help them deepen their knowledge about Wells Fargo and also hone their skills. In addition to this, the grads also participate in a series of mentoring sessions, and they have an opportunity to apply the learned skills to a final group project known as a capstone project. And all of these activities, they run alongside their daily job, where in their job, they will be able to learn all the functional skills, and that is required to succeed through the project and the work they do as organized by the line of businesses individually. So this is an overview of what the Early Talent Program consists of.
Thank you. And it certainly seems clear to me that it really supports an effective transition from the academic world into the working environment based on the components that you're talking about. And interesting as well about developing the skills that are needed to succeed, I guess, in all areas of business within somebody's career.
You don't learn much in the classroom setting that you would do in your business environment when you're working with people. So learning on the job is a key part of Early Talent Program for us.
Sure. And in terms of skills, Patricia, it'd be interesting to understand how the skills needed to succeed within your company have changed over the recent years and months.
Yeah, well, I'll say for the most part, they really haven't. And that's because in CDF, our business model has been successful for over 60 years because it's remained consistent. Many of the skills that you need to succeed, therefore, in CDF have also remained consistent. Some examples are to be self-motivated and have a strong work ethic. We're dealing with people's livelihoods, and so there needs to be that drive and that willingness to work hard for them. You have to be able to handle multiple tasks simultaneously and to be able to prioritize those tasks to meet not only internal deadlines, but customer expectations. And another skill is to effectively work in a team environment. We do well for our customers because we work well together. And being part of a team is absolutely necessary in CDF and in the greater Wells Fargo too. Many of those skills I mentioned involve communication and being able to communicate clearly and effectively, both internally and externally, is absolutely necessary. And that's where we've had to recently adapt. Just with our current environment, we've had to work remotely and from our homes, and we can't travel to see our customers. And we're really lucky to live in a world that's so technologically advanced, and we have the option to connect to our customers with video chats and really still be able to see their face even if we can't be there in person. And as much as we utilize email and phone to communicate, there's really no substitution for that face-to-face time. No, so I guess another skill within that would be being able to learn and adapt quickly.
Yeah, so in some ways, you actually, a number of the core skills that are needed are just as important today as they always have been. So things like adaptability, good communication, the ability to prioritize, etc., etc.
Yeah, I think that's what makes not only individuals successful at what they do is that consistency, but also businesses, that we can rely on those skill sets to be able to be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. So Alex, coming to you now, what advice would you have for someone that's considering applying right now?
Yeah, sure. I guess the first point would be confidence in yourself. It's obviously going to be a competitive market out there when you do graduate, and I think the best thing, well, for me, myself at the time, was be confident what the skills you've developed, whether it's through university or any other experience outside of university, and portray that in early on in your CV and subsequently in both in your interviewing process, that you shouldn't worry about what other people are doing. I think you should focus on what you've done. And I think that's what got me to apply even more, is that at the start I didn't feel confident in my own self, but then when I was looking through my CV, I think I could actually be in here for a chance here. So be confident in your own skill set. And then second, I'd say be prepared. From my own experience, I did read up on the latest news on Wells Fargo, did some research on CDF, any economic news that potentially might impact CDF as well as Wells Fargo. I think during my interview process, I was able to use my research, and what better place to ask questions of the people that are already working there. And apart from making it seem like a constant interview where you're the focus of it, I think some parts of the interview made it feel like a conversation, and you kind of get a better insight of what CDF and what's really happening in CDF at the moment. And last but not least, I say be yourself. This was quite important to me because I really wanted to make sure that I can fit in an environment where I feel comfortable learning, working, and I kind of felt that it resonated through my whole application process, that people are very open and welcoming and very supportive of what you've got to say. And I think that having that bounce off people while speaking to them really made me feel I could work here, and that's what really made me choose Wells Fargo over other potential job offers that I did have. So yeah, those three.
Really interesting. So just to summarize, having confidence in your own skill set and experience,
Yes.
being prepared, and being yourself. And I think they're all really valid points. And certainly when it comes to the point you made about asking questions as part of that process, I think it's really important, because it's actually about making sure the fit's right for both parties, both the organisation and the person. And it's only really through asking and probing do you get an understanding of whether that's going to be the right career stroke company for you. So thank you, that's great. And lastly, Mandeep, it'd be really great to summarise what you would consider to be the 3 takeaways for our audience. So let's say they forget everything we've said today. What 3 things do we want to make sure they remember?
I hope they don't forget whatever has been mentioned. But yes, to summarize from what Alex, myself, and Trish has already spoken about in this webinar, first and foremost, I think because the graduates are coming from a campus environment and entering into a corporate world, for some it just might be a bit overwhelming and daunting. So at Wells Fargo, we care a lot about our people and we look after them in any way possible. So I would say when the grads are becoming a part of Wells Fargo, they will get all the support, not only from the line manager, but also their lines of businesses and the HR. The overall team of Wells Fargo will be there to support them in any way possible. So support is something that they will get, which will help them immerse themselves and understand the core values of Wells Fargo and also the business objectives that has been set for them. So secondly, they will develop a core set of professional skills which will help them become successful at work quickly. They will benefit from various self-development courses that we will be helping them with. They will get a lot of feedback, not only just from the line managers, but also from their peers, their team, their mentors that they will have acquaintance with during our early talent program. And also learning from each other will enhance their skills in working effectively, which will help them to succeed in the work that they do and have a better interaction with the stakeholders. Lastly, I would like to say is that in Wells Fargo, we provide them with a lot of opportunities to network with others, be it senior business leaders, be it new graduates, be it internal team members, and these are done on various platforms, including the Early Talent Program. So once the graduates are able to interact and network with others, they understand what are the different lines of businesses that Wells Fargo has within its international business domain. And also, this will provide an opportunity for them to seek alternative career options if they want to explore or look through the other skills that they want to explore in different work environment within Wells Fargo.
Great. So to summarize then, the 3 key takeaways would be the exceptional support that's available across the business, the environment which lends itself so well to enabling an individual to develop the core skills that are needed for them to develop quickly, as well as the range of opportunities that exist within the company, so that somebody who joins doesn't necessarily have to stay in one line of business. They're actually exposed to many lines of business, which could be so helpful for once they've determined where their strengths lie and what areas of interest they have, they could then follow a slightly different path.
Absolutely.
Within the company.
Yeah, absolutely. And I completely agree with the last point that you just re-summarized and re-paraphrased. Within Wells Fargo, you have ample opportunities and different lines of businesses, and managers are always looking for new talent. So if any graduate or any student wishes to join Wells Fargo, they surely have all the support that they need and will get the opportunities throughout the career that they spend in Wells Fargo.
Brilliant. Look, Patricia, Alex and Mandeep, thank you so much for your time today, sharing that really unique insight into what it's like to work for Wells Fargo and the opportunities that you have for graduates. I hope everybody on this webinar found this session insightful. As I mentioned, this forms part of the Meet the Employer webinar series, which you can find by going onto your online career platform and visiting the newsroom. If you click the webinar tag, you will see a list of all the webinars that have taken place, as well as those that we've got scheduled. Last but not by no means least, we really appreciate your feedback. A small pop-up form will display at the end of this webinar. Please let us know what you think of it, and we'll incorporate your feedback into the future webinars we've run. So thank you all for joining us, and I hope to see you again soon.